What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Whales and Locks. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the much anticipated Big Ten Tournament 2021 edition. So many good teams in this conference. I wouldn't say it's necessarily wide open to win. However, it does have some dark horses I do like early in the tournament that could make some noise a little bit later. But let's get right down to it. First game, we've got Northwestern and Minnesota, 12 versus 13 matchup. I really didn't realize Minnesota had fallen down so far, as they actually had started out the season pretty well, looking like they could have made the tournament. Not so far lately. This is a massively underseeded squad, though, in Minnesota, so I am going to take Minnesota here to beat this really bad Northwestern team. I just think this game is a huge mismatch. Marcus Carr should dominate. So now we've got the second game of the first day, Penn State and Nebraska. Nebraska actually has looked much better lately. They did get 3 conference wins, 2 of them coming in their last 4. But yet again, it is still Nebraska. They are by far the worst team in the Big Ten. We'll go ahead and take Penn State here, as much as I really don't like Penn State all that much. Now we're looking at the Thursday games here. Maryland, Michigan State. It's a very interesting matchup here. I do think Maryland pretty much figured out a really good formula the last time these two teams met. Maryland likes to slow the pace down quite a bit. I think they do that here against Michigan State. And ultimately, Michigan State doesn't really need a win anymore after having beaten Michigan in their last game of the season. So I'll go ahead and take Maryland here. And I do actually think Michigan State would be fine and still be in the tournament, even if they lost here. So now we got Ohio State, Minnesota. I really don't think I have to explain this one all that much. A potential 1 or 2 seed in the NCAA tournament here in Ohio State, likely a 2 seed now, going up against just not a good Minnesota team. You got to ride with Ohio State here, no question. This next matchup, 2 teams who are kind of trending in the wrong direction right now. Indiana's guards have been pretty suspect offensively, whereas Ron Hunter Jr. on Rutgers has shot the ball a little bit better lately. I will ride with Rutgers. I'm not really a fan of either team, to be honest with you right now. They both haven't looked too good, but in the end, I will take Rutgers here. This final game of the Thursday slate, we've got Wisconsin and Penn State. I really cannot stand this Wisconsin team offensively. They're like watching paint dry, but it's still Penn State. Give me Wisconsin here, despite my differences I may have with the Badgers and their offense. So now we've got the Elite Eight here. We finally have some good basketball games, some unbelievable games. Purdue, Ohio State, Iowa, Wisconsin. So let's start up top, though, with here this Friday game, Michigan and Maryland. Michigan hasn't quite looked the same lately, as I mentioned before, losing to Michigan State in their last game of the year, as well as Illinois. They may potentially be without Eli Brooks throughout this entire tournament. We don't know for sure yet. But in the end, I think Jawan gets these guys prepped enough. I'll take Michigan here, at least in this first game. Getting the job done. Purdue, Ohio State. This is an unbelievable matchup. It may look strange, though, if it's on TV, if they put up the AP poll rankings next to these teams as opposed to the seeds. Because Ohio State will likely be ranked somewhere around 10 or 11, whereas Purdue will probably be around, if I had to guess, 18 or 19. So it'll be interesting to see that. I do love Purdue, but I think Ohio State has title aspirations, whereas Purdue has, look how well we've exceeded expectations aspirations. Not to put them down too much, but this team is just too young for me. I'll take Ohio State here to set up for the game, which I guess is a football term, but regardless, still Michigan-Ohio State, a great game. Now we've got Illinois and Rutgers. Illinois is just on another stratosphere of this Rutgers team right now. I'm going to take Illinois. Really don't want to put much effort into that one. Iowa, Wisconsin. I have gone back and forth on this one quite a bit. It's tough, as Iowa would be winning this matchup 3 times this season now, and for me, that's really difficult to do. You don't see that happening too often, especially against a team like Wisconsin, who is just gritty and tough. And this would be back-to-back games here for Iowa against Wisconsin as they closed out the season against Wisconsin. But then I reminded myself just how bad this Wisconsin team is offensively, how bad they've been against the spread. Just overall, just not a good basketball team. I will take Iowa as just they have better offensive talent. Even without Joe Wieskamp potentially, I think they win this ball game. So now we've got a really interesting Final Four here. Potentially 4 teams inside the AP poll top 10, at least 3 in the top 6, I would say. Depending on where Ohio State falls, we will see. But we've got Michigan and Ohio State regardless. Again, a really great game here, a rematch of one of the greatest college basketball games we've seen thus far. 92-87, Michigan took that one. If Eli Brooks sits, which it seems like he might be here, he means so much to them. This one's really tough. I'm going to take Michigan here. I'm very uncertain about this one for sure, but I just think Michigan talent-wise has just a little bit more than Ohio State. regardless of having Eli Brooks or not. So I will take Michigan. Another great matchup here, Illinois and Iowa. Here as Luka Garza will go up against Kofi Coburn, a huge matchup down low. This will be a very interesting matchup, as I said, in the paint. However, the difference for me is just Illinois' guards with Curbelo, Miller, and obviously potential player of the year, Ayo Dosunmu. I think they're just on another level at this point. I will take Illinois. And that sets up a potential top 5 matchup here. Michigan and Illinois, again, just two unbelievable teams who are both looking like they're going to be 1 seeds at this point unless something drastic happens. This one's tough. Again, unbelievable game. Michigan will remember what happened to them the last time these two teams matched up, as Illinois took it to them so hard without even Ayo Dosunmu. I just think Illinois right now just is playing the better basketball. I'm a little afraid to take Michigan here. I will take Illinois to win this one and ultimately win the Big Ten championship. I do think if Illinois were to win, this would put them as the 3rd number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. It would probably drop Michigan to 4, as it would be tough to put Illinois at 4 at this point, given that they've beaten Michigan twice. So that is my Big Ten tournament predictions. I'm looking at any sleeper teams that I may like. I as much as I don't like Wisconsin, I really dislike them in terms of always talking how poorly their offense is. I do think Wisconsin is one of those teams that could make a run. I could see them beating Iowa, as I said, as I think that that's not necessarily a team that I could see beating Wisconsin 3 times. And then Illinois, Wisconsin, they probably can't really beat Illinois, but getting at least to the Final Four would be interesting. So that's my sleeper team here in the Big Ten. Please down below in the comments, if you have any sleeper teams here in the Big Ten, please let me know. But yeah, so if you did enjoy this content and would like to see more of these picks and videos like this in the future, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.